Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Welcome to our online teaching academy, Ekaleva. Board CBSE, Class 9, Subject Science, name of the lesson, Tissues. What are we going to learn? Introduction about tissues, plant tissues and its types, animal tissues and its types. In the previous biology chapter, we have studied that all living organisms are made up of cells. Cell is the structural and functional unit of life. We have discussed about two categories of organisms, unicellular organisms and multicellular organisms. Unicellular organisms are the organisms made up of single cell, whereas multicellular organisms are the organisms made up of many cells. In unicellular organisms like amoeba and paramecium, a single cell performs all basic functions like movement, intake of food, respiration, and excretion. In multicellular organisms, there are millions of cells which are specialized to carry out a few functions. For example, in human beings, muscle cells contract and relax to cause movement. Nerve cells carry messages. Blood flows to transport oxygen, food, hormones, and base materials. Likewise, in plants, the vascular tissues conduct food and water from one part of the plant to other parts. Cells specializing in one function are often grouped together in the body. This means that a particular function is carried out by a cluster of cells. This cluster of cells called a tissue. Let us see the definition of a tissue. A tissue is defined as a group of cells which are similar in structure and work together to achieve a particular function. The tissues include blood, phloem, and muscle. The study of tissues is called histology. Are plants and animals made of same types of tissues? Do plants and animals have the same structure? Do they perform similar functions? There are some noticeable differences between plants and animals. Plants are autotrophic organisms. That is, they prepare the food by themselves by the process of photosynthesis. Have you seen plants moving around? No. Plants are stationary or fixed organisms, so they require less energy and more supportive strength. Most of the plant tissues are dead. That is, they do not contain living protoplasm. This is because the dead cells provide mechanical strength. Animals are heterotrophic organisms. That is, they do not prepare their own food. They depend on other organisms for food. They have to move in search of food, mates, and shelter. So they need more energy when compared to plants. Most of the animal tissues contain living protoplasm because the living cells need more energy and more maintenance. Let us look at the levels of organization. There are different levels of formation of an organism. The first level of the formation of an organism is cell. Cell is the basic structural and functional unit of life. Next level is the tissue. When cells group together, they perform specific function. They are tissues. Tissues again group together to form an organ. These organs finally join together to form an organ system. The organ system together make up an organism. For example, respiratory system, excretory system, reproductive system, circulatory system, digestive system make up a human body. Not only the human beings are made up of organ systems, all other living organisms like cat, dog, cow, elephant, etc. also contains organ systems. Let us discuss about plant tissues. Plant tissues are broadly classified into two types: meristematic tissue and permanent tissue. Based on its position, meristematic tissue consists of three types: apical meristem, lateral meristem, and intercalary meristem. Permanent tissue consists of two types: simple permanent tissue and complex permanent tissue. There are three types of simple permanent tissue: parenchyma, collenchyma, and sclerenchyma. Sclerenchyma consists of two types: fibers and sclerites. Complex permanent tissue consists of two types: xylem and phloem. Xylem consists of four types of cells: tracheids, vessels, xylem parenchyma, and xylem fibers. Phloem consists of four types of elements: sieve tubes, companion cells, phloem parenchyma, and phloem fibers. What do you mean by meristematic tissues? The dividing tissues in plants are known as meristematic tissues. Meristematic comes from the Greek word meristos, meaning divided. The main function of this tissue is to divide and help the plant grow. The meristematic cells occur at the growing tip of stems and roots, that is, root apex and shoot apex. There are some meristematic cells located at the base of the leaves. Let us now discuss about the proper definition of meristematic tissue. Meristematic tissue is the plant tissue that has the ability to divide actively throughout its life. Let us see the characteristics of meristematic cells. The meristematic cells are living. The cells of meristems are round, oval, polygonal or rectangular in shape. They have dense cytoplasm with large nucleus. The cell wall is thin and is made up of cellulose. The cells of meristem are closely arranged in such a way that there are no intercellular spaces. They do not contain vacuole. We know that plant cells have large-sized vacuole and plays an important role. But why are vacuoles absent in meristematic cells? Vacuoles possess cell sap and provide rigidity to the cell. If it contains more vacuole, then the cell becomes more rigid. If the cell is more rigid, then it is very difficult to divide. Let us look at the types of meristematic tissue. Based on its position, meristematic tissue can be classified into three types: apical meristem, intercalary meristem, and lateral meristem. Let us discuss about apical meristem. The word apical means apex. The meristem that is present at the apex of the plant is apical meristem. That is, at the tip of the stem and at the tip of the root. Since it is present at the growing tips of roots and stems, it increases the length of the plant. It also helps in the primary growth of the plant. Primary growth is the growth that occurs as a result of cell division at the tips of stems and roots, causing them to elongate and give rise to primary tissue. Let us look at the intercalary meristem. It is located at the base of the leaves or internodes. These meristems are found in monocotyledons, commonly referred as monocots, such as grasses. The main responsibility of the intercalary meristem is to increase the length of the internode. They are actually derived from apical meristem. Next is about lateral meristem. Lateral meristem is located in the stems and roots on the lateral side. The girth of the stem or root increases due to lateral meristem. That is, it increases the thickness of the plant. Lateral meristem is also known as cambium. There are two types of cambium. One is vascular cambium and the other one is cork cambium. Vascular cambium is responsible for internal growth, whereas cork cambium is responsible for external growth. It helps in the secondary growth of the plant. That is, growth that results from cell division in the lateral meristems and that causes the stems and roots to thicken. Let us discuss about the functions of meristematic tissues. The meristematic tissues help plants to produce new leaves, stems, roots, etc. It helps the plant to heal the injury by the formation of new cells in the injured place. They are also involved in the process of growth by developing new cells. It acts as a parent tissue which helps in the development of other tissues from it. In today's class, we have discussed about tissues, plant tissue and its types. To receive our online lessons, please press the subscribe button and you will receive the latest updates. Thank you, children.